Boom, boom, boom! A Week 6 preview. Texans at the Patriots, 4-1 against 1-4. We got a full boom-filled preview for you on today's show. Welcome into Texans Today. Before we get into all of the nitty-gritty, the X's and O's between these two teams, I got a little bone to pick with one Allie Barefoot. She laid down the gauntlet. She is our host of Patriots Today, and she said, you know what, Jeremy, you might win on Sunday, but there's no way you're beating me this week in our sub battle. And I looked at the numbers, and so far, I'm a little upset because she's right. There are 151 subs this week. We're only at 138. So help me win the sub battle. We got to win on and off the field. So go down and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for daily Texans content all year long, 100% for free. And by the way, we're having a watch party on Sunday. So subscribe, turn on your notifications, be there, be square, and make sure you're subbed to the #1 Texans channel here on YouTube. So let's talk ball. First up, let's talk the biggest storylines from this game on Sunday, because there are quite a few that we got to break down in this matchup. First up, I mean, this came earlier this week from Adam Schefter. Drake Maye is going to get his first career NFL start this weekend up against the Houston Texans. That'll be a big storyline. A lot of eyes on this weekend's game for sure, because you already have a couple rookies that are playing really well. Jaden Daniels has looked phenomenal. Caleb Williams is coming into his own. And then you have Drake Maye as well. Bo Nix playing okay with the Broncos. But a lot of rookies balling out. Drake Maye trying to put his footprint on the NFL season this year with his first career NFL start. Also, Nico Collins, arguably the best player on the Texans right now, just placed on IR. He's not going to play this week. He's going to be out the next 4 weeks up until the Texans play that primetime game up against the Detroit Lions. He will be out this week. So it's a big hole to fill for this Texans offense with Nico Collins leaving. And then number 3, possible trap game. I mean, I said at the beginning, 4-1 versus 1-4. You're not really thinking you're going to get a ton of competition up against the New England Patriots or get, one of the hardest matchups that you'll have this year. But that's exactly what a trap game is. You're overlooking a team. You're looking maybe at next week where the Texans travel to Lambeau, and you're saying, oh, that's going to be a tougher game. That's the game that we have to focus on. You got to focus on this game and the New England Patriots. That's why I'm calling this possibly a trap game. I want to hear from you, though. I just laid out what a trap game is. Do you think this is a trap game for the Houston Texans? Do you think they'll possibly look past this Patriots team and not be worried, not be fazed, and kind of overlook this squad? What do you say down in the comment section? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, perfect timing. Scroll on down. It's going to be the very first comment, and let me know. Do you think this is a trap game for the Houston Texans? Now let's talk a little bit about the injury reports for both teams. I'm filming this Wednesday evening, so got a couple injury updates that we got to look forward to throughout the week. First up, Joe Mixon. He is once again questionable to return this Sunday. Again, we don't know whether or not he'll be able to return this week with that soft tissue injury that he's dealing with, or that ankle injury. It's a little frustrating because I think with him in the offense, with him playing, this whole unit looks completely different. He adds a different element to this offense, and he adds, some firepower in the backfield that you don't get out of anybody else from the running back room. Now, on a positive note, Mixon maybe not playing, but Dameon Pierce maybe is playing. On the track to play this Sunday up against the New England Patriots, Dameon Pierce, and I'm really excited to see him finally get out there and get out and play because, we all know the story. Rookie season, he looked fantastic. Last year, a little bit of a sophomore slump, and we really haven't seen him play that much this season. So I want to see Pierce out there. I want to see him playing this Sunday, and I'm really excited to see what Dameon Pierce has got in the backfield. Another guy with an injury who, last year was oft injured is Jimmy Ward. He's dealing with the groin injury. He was out a couple weeks ago with that injury, played this past weekend, and then re-aggravated the injury. So I don't know if he'll be able to play this weekend. Another, day-to-day, week-to-week kind of guy is Jimmy Ward. Somebody who kind of kind of shocked me a little bit that popped up on the injury report this week. Kamari Lassiter, and there's reports from Aaron Wilson saying that he could miss this week with that shoulder injury. I mean, a big deal for this Texans team because obviously he's your CB2. He's your second best corner on the team. And if you're going to be without Lassiter, that kind of changes things up with how you want to do things defensively, schematically up against this Patriots offense, especially the guy who having his first career NFL start in Drake Maye. Another guy who might not play this weekend. He was a game-time decision up against the Bills. Ended up being inactive for that game in Week 5. Blake Fisher got his first career NFL start at right tackle. Titus Howard, once again, did not practice on Wednesday, so I'm not sure whether or not he'll be able to play. I know Laramie Tunsil did not practice Wednesday, but I think that's pretty regular for the left tackle. He usually gets a couple rest days in between games, but the O-line, they're a little bit banged up this week. Titus Howard, he's still on the injury report, and so is Kenyon Green, left guard. He's dealing with an injury as well. So that's something to keep an eye out on for this week because the offensive line, they've been, around the headlines for this team for good reason to start the season. They've had a very tumultuous start to the year. Kenyon Green, hopefully he can play this Sunday up against the Patriots. Now, going across enemy lines, this isn't really an injury. This is more of a legal issue, but Jabril Peppers out indefinitely. And if you don't know the story with Jabril Peppers, I mean, he's got a lot of legal issues going on off the field. That's all I got to say about that. He's out indefinitely. He's definitely not playing up against the Houston Texans, so somebody that we really don't have to worry about. And this is kind of playing into this next guy, Kyle Duggar, their other safety on the team. He might not play this weekend. So if they're without both of their safeties this weekend, CJ better feast up against this Patriots defense come Sunday. Another guy who I'm really going to be keeping an eye out for this week on the Patriots injury report is Ramondre Stevenson. He played up against the Dolphins, looked pretty good, but was injured late in that game and did not practice on Wednesday. So I know they kind of like that two-headed monster they have there with Ramondre Stevenson. They also have, why is his name escaping me? Antonio Gibson. Thank you, producer Colin. That's why he's the best in the biz. Antonio Gibson. They kind of have that two-headed monster at running back, but if Ramondre Stevenson's out this Sunday, that makes this Patriots offense just that much worse going into this weekend's game. Coming up, I have the keys to victory for the Houston Texans coming up this Sunday against the New England Patriots. But before I get into all of that, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor from today's show. That is Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, for good reason. With over 5 million active members, get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real cold, hard cash all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. So get started today with Prize Picks. And if you're like, Jeremy, I don't even know where to even get started. I don't know what picks to make. Well, I got you covered. I have a pretty good lineup this weekend. Stephon Diggs, 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. Basically, if he finds pay dirt, that's a win right there. And I think he might because Nico Collins, once again, is not playing on Sunday. CJ Stroud, 243.5 pass yards. If the Patriots are going to be without both their starting safeties, give me the more on that. And our sweet prince, Tiny Fairbairn, 1.5 field goals made. Now, the only thing that could stop this is if the Texans just keep on scoring touchdowns, but I could easily see them kicking a couple field goals during this game, so give me the more on that one as well. You can use my picks or go against them. Either way, just do it over on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That is code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So what's stopping you from getting started right now? Go to Prize Picks and run your game. All right, let's look at the keys to victory for the Houston Texans this weekend up against the New England Patriots. First up, you got to sell out against the run. I mentioned it in the injury report earlier. Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, if those two guys are in the backfield, you got to make sure you are selling out against the run and making sure you make Drake Maye beat you. A little chat stats for you. The Texans, they're right in the middle of the pack this year for the NFL in terms of rushing defense. They're 17th, allowing 120.2 yards per game. And the reason for this, and the reason why the opposing teams are able to kind of rush the ball a little bit against this Houston Texans defense, I think they're pretty good up front, but they've been running a ton of 2 linebacker sets. Most of the time you see them in like nickel and dime packages with just Azeez Al-Shaair and Henry To'oTo'o out there at the linebacker spot. And I think once Christian Harris comes back and is healthy, you'll see a lot more of that base 4-3 because you have Christian Harris, Azeez Al-Shaair, Henry To'oTo'o, who are all, multifaceted linebackers who can not only stop the run, but are also decent in pass coverage. So I think you'll see a lot more of that base defense once Christian Harris returns to the starting lineup. Number 2, key to victory. You got to make Drake Maye feel you. You know what I mean? You got to make him feel you. Got to make him feel nicey out there. First career NFL start for Drake Maye. And they decided to do it up against this Texans team that has a pretty decent pass rush, if you ask me. And the Patriots offensive line has not looked that good this season. These 2 guys need to wreak havoc this weekend. Will Anderson Jr., a little bit of a cold start, in my opinion. I was expecting a little bit more fireworks between Will Anderson Jr. and the newly signed Danielle Hunter from this offseason, but a combined 4 sacks for the duo through 5 weeks. I was expecting a little bit more, but maybe they'll get a ton of sacks this weekend up against the New England Patriots. What say you? How many sacks do you think the Texans can get against a rookie Drake Maye? I'm hoping for at least 5, 6 sacks on the weekend. I know that's a pretty high number, but I think with a Patriots offensive line that's not very good, a rookie quarterback in Drake Maye, yes, they'll probably try to, protect him a little bit, run a lot of screens, a lot of run plays. But I think if you can get them in 3rd and long and just pin your ears back and get after him, you can get at least 3, 4, 5 sacks on the weekend if you're the Houston Texans. Number 3, let CJ air it out. Let him go. He is top 3 in passing yards this season in the NFL for good reason. I trust C.J. Stroud. Yes, he had a couple of boneheaded plays in the 4th quarter up against the Buffalo Bills, but I still think he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. I still think he's one of the best to do it. And against the Patriots defense, they're a little bit better against the run than they are against the pass, in my opinion. I think that C.J. can air it out. Even without Nico Collins, you have Tank Dell, you have Stephon Diggs. You watched my video the other day. I think Xavier Hutchinson might be due for a breakout as well. So I think he still has enough targets. Also, the tight end room with Cade Stover and Dalton Schultz. I think you let CJ do his thing. I think you let greatness shine with CJ, and you let him absolutely air it out all over the Patriots on Sunday. It worked last week, so I'm going to have it again as a key to victory. No penalties. Remember how beautiful that first half was up against the Buffalo Bills? Texans offense didn't have any penalties. And then the second half came, and it slowed down a little bit. They started to get a little bit of, penalties here and there, and you saw the offense kind of slow down as a result of that. One thing I do have to say, and he deserves his flowers, no penalties for Jeremy Tunsil this past weekend up against the Buffalo Bills. I know that had been the headline throughout Houston all throughout the first 4 weeks was all the penalties that Tunsil had given up. He played much better up against the Bills, so I got to give him his flowers. If I'm going to call him out when he's bad, I got to call him out when he's good as well. So Jeremy Tunsil, if you're watching this, good stuff this past weekend up against the Bills. Let's continue it against the Patriots in Week 6. And lastly, you got to limit the 3rd and longs. You got to make this offense, open up the playbook, because if you're in like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you're in a golden spot. And the Texans, they've had to convert so many 3rd and longs, so many 2nd and, 15s. Kind of going along with the penalties, but even with all that, C.J. Stroud has been balling this season. According to PFF, he has the highest grade out of any quarterback this season on 3rd and 4th down plays at 90.1. So just imagine if he didn't have to convert 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15 over and over and over and over again. This Texans offense would be unstoppable. So, Bobby, Mr. Slowick, can we please Please try to get the game plan working to where we have a little bit, more manageable downs. Open up the playbook a little bit because, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, the defense knows what you're going to do. You're trying to get to the sticks and you're trying to throw the ball. 3rd and 3, though? Maybe you surprise them with a run here and there. Maybe you have some underneath routes, get just a quick pass for a first down, or you take the top off the defense and throw it deep. Either way, I think you gotta, manage your play calling a little bit better because the second half against the Bills, once Nico Collins was out, I wasn't a fan of the play calling by Bobby Slowick. I'm really hoping up against the Patriots with Nico Collins out, which obviously this offense is better with Nico Collins, but maybe we spread the ball out a little bit more. Tank Dell is able to find his footing a little bit. Stephon Diggs shows why the Texans gave up a second-round pick this offseason to trade for him. Maybe a little bit more Dalton Schultz. Maybe the rookie Cade Stover gets some action as well. I want this Texans offense to spread the ball out. I want them to just dart up the Patriots up and down the field on Sunday, and I want to see a dominant win for the first time this season for the Houston Texans because it's been nail-biters. They've won 4 out of 5 games. But it doesn't feel like that, right? It feels like they've, had you on pins and needles each and every single win this season. I want to see dominance this weekend for the Houston Texans because I know they can do it. I know they are one of the best teams in the NFL. They just need to go out this weekend and prove it.